There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick. Okay? And I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. Because let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I got to figure all that out. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay the utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage. Even though everything else went up. There is no scarcity. It is how do we pit people against each other so they're too distracted to see everything that I'm too addicted to consuming. And how much profit I'm making, and more profit, how many more houses one individual can have, how many yachts can one individual have, regardless of whether I am a female, male, whatever. I am a human being first. With what conscience are you criminalizing poverty?
Right.
And it's not going to stop just in the United States. The poor of the world, not just this country, are fed up. And let's not leave out rural communities. I live in Haines City, Polk County, Florida, okay? But do you think that the poor and rural communities have transportation? They don't. There is absolutely not even a sidewalk to walk on because I am giving the message of stay poor, stay hidden, and die silently, okay? If I get a job, how do I get to that job? If I even get it when I'm in a rural community.
Part of the reason I've been so critical of the DNC and establishment Democrats is because we need a party that is clearly distinguishing themselves from the Trump regime. Every time establishment Democrats vote for what Trump is doing, they are lending bipartisan support to his awful authoritarian agenda. But not only that, swing voters, working class people who voted for Trump and now realize they're being screwed by him, they're looking for something else, right? The reason that a lot of people voted for Trump in this last election is because they were swing voters, independent voters, who typically they vote for whoever is not in charge. They're like, I'm not happy. I know that our quality of life in America is not what it should be. My family is struggling really hard. I will blame the incumbent and I will vote for the other guy. That is as far as their thinking goes. Statistically, we know that is what swing voters vote on. That is why they swing to the other guy. They are not thriving in an America where billionaires are squeezing the shit out of the working class. And they don't necessarily know who to blame, so they just blame the guy in charge and say, we better get some change. Can't be worse than what I've got now. And I think establishment Democrats really fail to understand the ways that we all suffer because of the billionaires, right? So many of them are in the pocket of billionaires. They're supported by corporate interest, by foreign interest. And they aren't really a party for the working class. Now, we know lots of progressives are. There's a whole progressive caucus. I did a whole video about them. That their priority is the working class. Their priority is to get dark money out of our politics and to institute universal health care and a living wage. But a lot of people still perceive the Democrats as being like Nancy Pelosi, super wealthy, trading in individual stocks, voting to protect her own wealth, enhance her own wealth. They see establishment Democrats as being just as much in the pocket of billionaires as the Republican Party. And that's totally true. And I keep saying over and over and over, if Democrats want a compelling message that reaches the masses, that speaks to the real problems that Americans are facing, that gets to the heart of the struggle of why people, besides the racism, why people found Trump appealing. And I'm not downplaying racism as a component of that, but we know that struggling white working class people are taught to vilify people who are not white, to scapegoat them instead of really understanding the folks who are making them suffer are the super rich, to try to prevent them from developing class consciousness and solidarity. And Trump is really good at pandering to that racism and feeding it, right? He fans those flames. One of the things that I get so frustrated about, and one of the things that I keep harping on over and over and over, is the fact that Democrats, you can say progressives and leftists, they fail to understand that the grievances of conservative America are very real. Rural Americans, working class Americans, blue collar Republican voters, they are struggling. They know that things are not as they should be. They do not feel that the American dream is accessible to them. They know that they have a lower quality of life than their parents. They know they struggle harder. They are not as prosperous. They are more burdened. Their anger is a righteous anger. They are being hurt by the same billionaires that are hurting us. They are being fucked over by the elites the same way you and I are. The difference is that they believe the lie of Donald Trump, that it's immigrants that are at fault, or that the solution is somehow to gut the government and give all of our tax money to Elon Musk. They've believed the lies of a Nepo baby billionaire. Okay, I have to share this Blue Sky post I made this morning. Trump earlier today couldn't remember what a stroller was called, and Mallory McMorrow shared this picture of Melania, right? And they're gaudy, conspicuous consumption, gold-plated New York apartment with a gold-plated stroller. And I said, how did any Trump voter ever think he gave two shits about working class problems? It blows my mind that a Nepo baby billionaire, known for stiffing his builders and electricians and landscapers, was cast as a man who would make life better for blue-collar America, who is being fucked over by the super rich. If Democrats cannot sufficiently differentiate themselves from the Republicans, either because they're voting lock, stock, and barrel with what this regime wants, or because they do not offer a different compelling vision of America and different solutions than the Republicans do, or because they're funded by and uphold the same systems of oppression that the Republicans do. We need a Democratic Party that understands what working class solidarity is, that helps conservative working class Americans come to gain class consciousness, that has a message that is appealing, that speaks into the lives, the problems, the struggles of working class America. Because those struggles are very real and they are felt by folks all over the political spectrum. A party that wants an America that works for the working class and not for corporate interest. That understands it is the super rich that are squeezing us for our life hours, for our labor, for every last penny that we have. That understands the enemy of the American dream is the billionaire. That's a party with an extremely popular message. That's a party that has a chance. And there are lots of progressives in the Democratic Party who want to turn it into a party that is for the working class, that understands what a party for working class people is, that understands who it is that is depriving us of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Democrats are facing 22% approval ratings because they are part of the establishment and they are protecting corporate interest above the lives and quality of life of the American people. But it's not too late. It's not too late to boot those people to the curb and to help evolve the Democratic Party into one that actually can fix shit, that actually can solve our problems, that actually can provide the things that that woman at the beginning of this video was talking about. Speak into those problems and offer real solutions. Not just paying lip service and throwing out a few crumbs to the working class, while still ultimately pandering to the super rich and to corporations, but instead a party that restores an America, or perhaps for the first time creates an America that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. We are the wealthiest nation on earth. There is tremendous wealth here that is being hoarded by a few at the top. If we taxed the rich, if they paid their fair share, there is no reason for us to live like this. And in fact, the Democrats have right now the final boss of capitalism playing out, where the billionaires are just out in public fleecing us. The corruption is just happening in broad daylight. Palantir and SpaceX getting huge government contracts, billions of our taxpayer money, while our national parks are being slashed, cancer research is being ended, our electric grid is no longer being maintained, our veterans are having their benefits slashed. Also, the super rich can put more of our money in their pockets. Democrats should fucking have it in the bag. Look, America, you're getting fleeced by the super rich. This has been happening for a long time. You've been telling us that things really suck here, and we understand they really do. And here is the proof. Here's the proof of who's been screwing you over this whole time. It was kind of happening under the radar for a lot of folks. You might not have realized before who it is that has been making your life suck and who has been making you struggle so hard. But now it's clear as day. They're doing it in broad daylight. It's those super rich fuckers over there. It is the billionaires. It is the mega corporations. It's the elites who don't care about you, the working class. They call you parasites. They call you leeches. The Democrats have a slam dunk to make a party of, by, and for the people and against the billionaires. But that would require them to chuck their own corporate billionaire influence. That would require a shakeup where the establishment Democrats, who have profited off of the system that is run by and benefits the super rich, to step aside and let the progressives craft a compelling platform, a compelling narrative, a compelling vision for America that will draw in the voters, that will get folks to peel off from Trump and join the coalition for an America that is for her people.